CFR in the building. Shalom Balance Paradise back in at the lab one more again. And I've got a old school brethren with me. Israel Doctrine in the lab with us tonight. What's happening, sibling? What's happening?
Peace. How you doing, brother? Long time no hear from.
Ain't it, man? Ain't it? Zombie apocalypse, Carlsberg, aka the Colt 45 thing, done licked the whole place down. Yeah, no. Time to reestablish some bonds and shit, man. And I thought, yo, it's been a long time since I ain't heard from this sibling. So yeah, no, let's do the thizzle wiggle. You heard.
Yeah, I'm here to communicate with you. Start the communication back up with the people and with your audience and with those who care to listen.
For sure, for sure. So as I've been doing, man, and as I've alluded to, zombie apocalypse 2020 rolled over to the Gregorian year of 2021. How has that been treating you, man? You know, what's your experiences been over this past year plus?
Well, the zombie the zombie apocalypse for me started in 99, 1999, Y2K. But you know, we 20 years deep now, so it's just a continuation, man. You know, a lot of people don't understand that we're in a new world order. They just haven't got the alarm wrong yet. They don't know that we are because they didn't tell them exactly. But you hear in America, Joe Biden and stuff on the network TV and stuff using the terminology that past presidents have used about New World Order. So, hey, it is what it is. We're 21 years deep in the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, I hear that. I hear that. Did you well, not even did you, it must have been a massive shock that they have accelerated, the program so quickly in regards to, like, the inception of the 2020, and then just to do what they've done, or was that of no surprise to you?
No, it is what it is. It's eschatology to me, if you know what the term eschatology means, just in time prophecy. It's eschatology. So until I see the temple go up in Jerusalem, then it's just a build up to that for me. Because I learned back in the 90s that the temple is the key to the countdown. Can't have a man abomination sitting in the temple proclaiming himself to be God or greater than everything that is God if it's no temple. And in Daniel, it tells us that the man of sin has to have a temple. In First Thessalonians, or it's the Second Thessalonians, it tells us about the man of sin sitting in the temple of God, proclaiming to be God. So it ain't God's temple. He's proclaiming to be God, and he's proclaiming the temple to be his temple. So until that happened, I'm cool. My underwear is still unsoiled.
Blessed, blessed. So okay, go into some more detail about the end time prophecy things and how you're utilizing the Torah to knock and you know
Well,
to
it's simple for me. In '96, I was in the culture of hip hop, big time. I had grown up listening to Wu Tang and all these different people, but I was a Southerner, so I listened to Texas rappers more than California, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, this and that.
Rap,
I grew
rap a
up
lot.
off
I
the
know that.
hmm?
Rap a lot records. Ghetto
Yeah, Rap a
Boys.
Lot Records, Ghetto Boys. That was the thing from where I was from. And Brad Jordan, aka Brad Jordan, was the one that I listened to the most. I like Willie D and I like Bushwick. I bought their albums too, but for the
Rising
most part,
Paradise to Bushwick Bill, aka Richard Shaw.
yeah. So for the most part, I was a Brad Jordan fan. Then there was a young guy. Well, he was older than me, but I was real young, what, 12, 13 or whatever. Tupacalypse Now dropped. So then I became a Tupac fan because this guy used to run around and he used to rap, trap, trapped in a city of delusion. Even a smooth criminal one day must get caught, shot up and shot down with the bullet. He used to put the chief of police name in there, put his girlfriend name in there and stuff. So I didn't know he was rapping Tupac till I bought the Tupacalypse Now album. So from the tender age of 13 or whatever to 96, I was a Tupac Brad Jordan fan. I listened to the other rap because I was just a hip hop fan. I dealt with the graffiti, the boom boxes, all that hip hop is, the culture, you know. So when Tupac died, I was like, I don't want to hear none of the other guys. Their raps are not real. Because when I heard Hit 'em Up, I was like, that was real man conversation on record. Why I was on record, I don't know, but it was there. And so
Indeed.
no one else could compare. Even Scarface or Brad Jordan couldn't compare to what I was hearing Pac talk about with the Machiavelli, the Prince, the discourses, the different things. So that's when I started my deep study into the world of subconscious waking up. That's when I learned about being an Israelite. That's when I learned about the
Okay.
KJV Bible.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
don't.
when eschatology kicked in
All
because I
right, all right.
heard
Hey,
Prince said,
sibling. Don't just run over that part. So, how what was the introduction to the Yashael, the Israelite thing? How did that come about?
well, when listening to Tupac, he had Black Jesus. He had the revolutionary theo political conversation that people don't talk about. So with the Black Jesus and the revolutionary mind state and who do you believe in and all these different songs prick my heart about the Bible because I heard Prince said 1999, oops, party over. So I was like, 99 is about to be around the corner. So listening to Tupac and things of that nature, he made me want to study the Bible more. So I was at the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, a big Christian institute where all the NBA players and different people go. And when they get ready to play the Bulls, they practice there and everything. So it was this one dude, a Gentile. He was a worker there. He was like a little coach or worker, and he actually read Revelations to me because I would talk Bible with him, but I would never get deep. But then one day he read this Revelations to me. I forget what scripture and stuff. So I was like, hold up, I got to get in this Bible more because I would talk it. I started talking it, but I was never in it. So he woke me up to you need to get in the book. Then a friend of mine's, a nephew, introduced me to this guy that he met at work. And he was Israelite. He went to the Israel of God, which soon would turn into the house of Jacob. And that was the split of the Israel of God to the house of Jacob. So his daddy, my nephew daddy, had this book called The Four Winds of Heaven. Unbeknown to us, we seen the book and we was looking at the book, my nephew and I. And then once we looked at the book deeper one day, we say, this is the church that dude go to. And that was my introduction to the Israelite lifestyle. Now, once I went to the Israel of God, I bought up the tape ministry, as many tapes as I could. My nephew bought some, I bought some. So we had a gang of tapes and stuff. So my day-to-day was to take the tapes, line them all up, and study subjects and titles. Like the feast days, I have all the Passover, unleavened bread, tabernacle, you know, all the Passover information, all that about the cleanliness, what the days was about and stuff. Then I have stuff like,
And was this literature from the Christian side, or is this now you've linked up with the?
well, this is where today I'm kind of confused because a brother by the name of Vocal Malone, the Christian apologist, urban apologist, or whatever, he put out audio of the head of the Israel of God in Chicago saying that the Israel of God is the biggest Hebrew Israelite camp in the world, which I didn't know they was Hebrew Israelites. Because when I went there, they was going at Christian doctrine. They never really went at Hebrew Israelite doctrine or never really taught Hebrew Israelite doctrine. It was more Christian doctrine that was being conversated about. And when Brother Bowie would talk about the Hebrew Israelites, it was always bad. So I always had a disdain for the Hebrew Israelites because of the teachings of Pastor Bowie. So I thought it to be a Christian congregation, but he says a Hebrew Israelite congregation. So I'm confused now. And I'm also confused because for years I was like, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. People would call me a Hebrew Israelite and I would get upset. I would use profanity against them and stuff. Like, man, don't call me that. You're being disrespectful. Don't call me a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. But then I realized that the place that I was going to called themselves Hebrew Israelites. So it really spent my head when this stuff is coming out. Right? So anyway,
Is there any connection to the Benjamin?
no, I don't believe so. But it's a Chicago-based camp, and Ben Amin comes out of Chicago. So the pastor Henry Bowie having Hebrew Israelite roots somehow, some way could tie into that. Like, I don't know who was the Hebrew Israelite camp back in the day or how many it was in Chicago, but he comes out of one of them. So that's why he
Mm-hmm.
is prone to say Hebrew Israelite to this day, because he's been indoctrinated by his elders that he's a Hebrew Israelite. Sad to say, but that's just what it is. And I had to wake up to the fact. But I never was a part of that roster. I never been a part of anybody church roster or whatever. So independently, I stepped off and created Israel Doctrine Entertainment LLC a long time ago. I independently stepped off when I had to take care of my mother and my father. My mother was 38 when she had me. My father was like 40 something. So that's how old they are, or older they were compared to me. So me being the youngest, no wife, no children, I took it up on myself to take care of my elderly parents. And eventually, 2013, I believe, I came to Arkansas to bury my mother. Allow her to live her last days in her house, be as comfortable as possible as she returns back to the dirt. And that transition happened, and I've been in Arkansas pretty much ever since,
Rising
except for a
Paradise.
couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I had to spend the whole year in Chicago. But I'm not crying. But yeah, man, I learned about eschatology back in the '90s. I taught a little bit of it, dealt with a little bit of it. I done debated full preterists. If you don't know what a full preterist is, that's someone that said in 70 AD all the prophecy was fulfilled, meaning Jesus then came back, the kingdom been set up, people been put people in heaven. Whatever you think is prophecy in the Bible, they say it was fulfilled in 70 AD. The guy that I debated, it was in Memphis, Tennessee. His name was William Bell. He's a big time um, preterist, full preterist. You know, I've been out here defending the word for a minute. I started in 2009 on Blog Talk Radio, and to this day, I still represent the word of God, Israel Doctrine.
All right. So, how invaluable is the art of being able to interpret and do that there? I mean, are you using it on a daily basis in your own life, or is this more about major events of what's actually happening geo-social politically?
Well, like I said, it's theo-political conversation. That's what the Bible is. Theo, let's deal with God, and political conversation is political conversation. And so the Bible is just that. So it's my day to day, it's my year to year, month to month interaction with the world. I'm a politician in a sense, and I do it from the godly perspective, the Theo perspective.
Mm. All right, and so you know about Trey Smith.
Mm, I don't know exactly what you was asking.
There's a content creator, and his name's Trey Smith, and he's quite prolific in biblical type stuff. Um, and he's done a load of videos about Trump being Cyrus and all this kind of stuff. And he's making comparisons and drawing conclusion based upon his inner standing, I guess, of the text. Um, are you seeing these comparisons between Cyrus and King Cyrus and Trump?
Look, I believe I'm the best biblical content creator out there, conversationist out there. Israel Doctrine is what everyone is talking about, though they won't acknowledge it, that it's Israel's doctrine, but that's what they talking about when they speak about the Bible. That's why I gave it that terminology. So to me, comparing Trump or anybody to anybody in the past is a no-no. I don't do it. I deal with this generation, this day, this time, and what they doing now. I know people say if you don't know history, you bound to repeat it. But as I said, the only thing I'm worried about is the building of the temple. When they go to the Temple Mount and they build a temple, then that's when I would get into end time prophecy again, personally. Now I would do it for the people, but me myself, I don't need to know who's compared to Julius Caesar, to Adolf Hitler, or anybody in the past. All I need to know is what they doing now. And whatever they doing, whether if it's fulfilling prophecy or not, if it affects me, then I'll tell you if they righteous or wicked. That's all that matters. If you righteous or wicked. And if a man is wicked, so be it. If he's righteous, so be it. I don't need to compare anybody. That's where you get into that reincarnation and false doctrine of Hebrew Israelitisms.
Mm. All right, so let's move on to a very well-known One West New York-based group, ISUPK, and the general of that camp coming
Don't
out
know
on more.
much about them.
Well,
Don't know
I'm
much about them. I don't follow ISUPK.
a
They don't
sibling.
speak about them much, so
Mm.
I don't know much about them.
I'm pretty sure you'll know about what I'm going to speak about. And he's spoken many times of recent um, weeks in regards to all black folks should be running and be first in line to take this vaccination.
Well,
Uh,
anybody telling you to take a vaccination is crazy. I haven't heard him say that. I've been in the work world. I got a 9 to 5, come home, go to sleep, wake up, back to the 9 to 5. I got to go to the 9 to 5 in the morning. But once again, righteous or wicked, he comes out of that reincarnation of David and whoever else they said was reincarnated in that one West teaching. And just like Tahar from GMS, they said in 2000 the Lord was coming and the world was about to end. So false prophets give you false prophecy and false conversation, and that sound like that's a false conversation that that individual was having. You might as well take them to the Ash Wednesday and get a cross made with ashes on their forehead, because it's the same thing as long as you go and get something from a stranger tattooed on you, plastered on you, poked in you, or whatever, you in danger of taking that chip. And whatever may be the end cause of me getting the chip, I ain't doing it. And a vaccination is someone sticking a needle in you and putting something in your body, and I don't want it. People are volunteering for it at my job, but the day they tell me I have to do something with that, then that's the day I lose my job. So no, I don't know about him speaking on that type of stuff. As I say, I don't follow him and I don't hear him speaking that much, and I don't follow people that follow him and broadcast his message. Need more conversation. Hello? Hello?
hey, sibling.
Yes. Are you there? I'm here. Do you hear
Okay.
me? I hear you.
Yeah. Apologies for the technical. Um, Vaccinations. Are you totally opposed to all forms of vaccination?
Brother, I never liked shots. Why would I go get a shot for anything? What's gonna kill me, gonna kill me. What ain't gonna kill me, ain't gonna kill me. The Lord is in control of all of that. So why do I need to vaccinate?
Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. Me personally, I'm pro-choice in regards to if you feel that's gonna help your physicality, by all means. But me personally, as you say, I think if you can keep yourself as healthy as possible, you know, and be as diligent as possible, then
Every individual got free will. You want somebody to shoot you for whatever reason, go get a shot. I don't need no shot. I've never been sick in my life, never been in the hospital, none of that stuff. And I'm not trying to start tomorrow. So blessed be the Lord God of Israel.
what do you see with that? I mean, you touched on the mark and all that. So what do you see with this pervasive vaccination thing that they're pushing out free of charge, obviously, and no one needs to pay for this
Well, that's
vaccination.
why you got Obamacare, so they can control what goes on with you in the medical field. And I mean, once again, I don't need Obamacare. I don't need a shot, and I'm not trying to deal with none of that. Hopefully, people are aware that you know you can't buy and sell without the chip, and somehow or another they got to get the chip in you. So don't volunteer and go get the chip by any means necessary. Don't volunteer and go get the chip by mistake, by plan, or whatever. Stay away from the chip.
I mean, I think they're gonna try and make this as difficult as possible, and possibly even start off with people who are on assistance. So it will be a case of, okay, if we're going to provide housing for you, if we're going to give you monthly money or bi-weekly money, we're
It's,
gonna
it's
we're gonna
simple once again. Whatever they do to try to get you chipped, don't volunteer and get chipped. Whoever they start with, however they started, you in jail, tell them take you to death row and hit you with the needle.
yeah,
Don't take
see,
the chip.
you saying that is all gravy, Israel, but in practice it's a different thing. You know what I mean? And people who who may be not on your walk, that might be a very difficult thing to kind of do. Like, shit.
Well, I'm not trying to argue or debate it or cause people not to do it or do it. I'm just saying for me, by no means necessary will I volunteer for a chip program. However they bring it. However they bring it. Public assistance or whatever. Cause I know when the Lord make it, whoever chips up, whoever done got chipped up is dead. He's gonna kill you and then send you to the lake. It's not. It won't be me.
I get that. I get that. Hey, so what's your thoughts on the most recent people might call a psyop? I mean, some of the listeners might be thinking, "What the hell are you talking about now?" But if you want to have a look, just have a look back at some of the footage that was all over social media and in the news in regards to the riotous thugs who attacked the Capitol building. Like,
Well,
what's your
pause
thoughts on
for a
that?
sec, if you will. All right. Man, my belly messing with me.
Three.
So, the propagandizing that's been going on with the U.S. Capitol. You got to know that it's information in that building that when they ran up in there, some people went for the information. Some people went to destroy stuff and do all the things they captured on the news and everything. But some people went in that building to get information, documentation of certain things, either to hide it or to bring it out. I don't know. All I know is for those that's not in America, the things that you all are seeing is propaganda. The news media is a propaganda tool used by the government. So whatever they doing with it, I've been at work, so I haven't really listened to it or watched it or whatever. I've seen some of it passing through spots where TVs are, but for the most part, it still don't bother me. I'm from a little small town in Arkansas, and big time government don't truly make it to this little small town. So I just deal with local politics, local politicians.
Well, all right then. On that, there. So, what's going on in sleepy small town of Arkansas? that people need to maybe pay attention to?
Well, COVID deaths is down in the black community. In the white community, I work 15 miles away from the town that I stay in. And every time I look up, it's someone's like, we're going to a funeral today of my family is in the hospital due to COVID. So it's affecting white America more than black America in my area. And that's the only politics that I care about. You know, who got city council, who's running for mayor, this, none of this stuff affects me. I voted in you know, the voting registration, whatever that just happened, the voting event, and I voted for those that I thought would do good. I didn't think Trump or Biden would be good, so I didn't vote for Trump or Biden. But we have that controversy now, but I'm not a part of that.
Hmm. It seems like it's like a theatrical play or something. It's the strangest thing.
Brother, a couple years ago, you had about 10 years ago or whatever, you had Bush and what was the guy that was running against him, the
John
last guy?
Kerry. John Kerry.
John Kerry. Both of them were Skull and Bone members. So either
I,
way you go, you was gonna have a Skull and Bone member leading you.
I know we're
You know.
cousins, remember?
But I'm not into all that. All I know is it's a certain nationality of people that's gonna lead the world into hell, and that nationality of people are doing what they do and what they've been prophesied to do. So it don't bother me none. My day to day is my day to day. It consists of waking up, eating, doing some work 6 days, resting on the seventh, and then doing it again the next week. That's my day to day. That's my not eternal loop, but that's my loop for right now.
That's the Groundhog Day kind of vibe. So you are observing the Shabbats.
I'm an Israelite. That's what Israelites do.
Well, as you've highlighted, there are different groups and forms of
Well,
Israelites.
I'm a real Israelite. I'm not a fake Israelite, so I do what real Israelites do.
Okay.
I don't fake it. I'm the real McCoy.
I think isn't as of the last couple of years, in America at least, aren't Black Hebrew Israelites classed as a hate group now based upon certain people?
Black
I think
identity extremists are
that's it.
people that are black or claim to be black. Black Hebrew Israelites proclaim to be black. So they dropped the black. They're only Hebrew Israelites now. So you still can't be a part of their group if you're not black and you're not Hebrew. So once again, I'm not them. I don't have to worry about that. People are always trying to classify me as them,
Hmm.
and I defend myself just a little bit, but I think people know by now that that guy said he's not a Hebrew Israelite. He was identified as a Christian. And once again, if you go in the Bible and look in Acts, or you could just go to BibleGateway.com, type in Christian, you're going to find it 3 times in the Bible. And one of them times they're going to say, those who follow Jesus Christ. The first ecclesia was nothing but Israelites that was called Christians. But we know about the Holy Crusades and everything else. They killed off the true Christians. Then they stopped the Judaism or Jerusalem teachings of Christianity, and then you got Roman Catholicism after that. So just do your history on it.
So the term Christian, was that a term dubbed by outsiders, or was the people at that time saying, okay, followers of Yeshua HaMashiach would be deemed as Christians?
It's simple as this. Those who followed Christ was called Christians. They was either called Christian by Israelites or foreigners. Either way it go, they was called Christians. They didn't call themselves Christians, they was called Christians. Just like Hebrews, Abraham didn't call himself a Hebrew. Am I correct? Or do you know Abraham to say, I'm the Hebrew?
Of course not.
Well, everything that we deal with, for the most part, come from other peoples. Or it either come from God. God either call us something, or people call us something, and we say, well, we want to run with what people are calling us or what God is calling us. So I run with what God called us, not what man called us.
And according to that, and the table of nations, currently, who would be identified as European and Arabian, or Middle Eastern, quote unquote, and Asian?
Well, I don't care about other nations. They supposed to get grafted into us, so they supposed to sojourn with us. So if they get grafted in and sojourn with us, then they can get dual citizenship in the nation of Israel. I have citizenship in the nation of Israel. If one want it, he can get it. If he don't want it, so be it.
So how would another nation get grafted into Israel? Are you talking about physically grafted?
However, it's physical and spiritual. You have to sojourn with Israel in one. So if you go in the Old Testament, it's a sojourn. So if you ask, how do one sojourn with Israel? There go Israel. Join yourself to them. Do like them. One law for Israel and the stranger. Keep the law, statutes, and commandment. And you're a part of the nation. This is a phenomenon to some people because Hebrew Israelites don't like to teach this type of thing. But when Rahab the harlot did what she did, she sojourned with Israel after that. Jericho was destroyed. She couldn't get left out there, her and her family by themselves. So Joshua said, hey, come on, you sojourning with us now. So I just use Rahab the harlot. You can go to Hebrews 11 and you will see that she gonna get the same thing Abraham got for the faithful act that she committed. So I mean, it's I explain all this, in my YouTubes and different stuff, in
Okay.
some of my debates, but people out there don't care to listen. You know what I'm saying?
So,
They
all
don't
right.
care, they don't care about Israel doctrine. They care about the false teaching or assimilation of Israel doctrine that people call themselves teaching, but they don't care about the real thing. That's why I say I'm a true Israelite. I'm not a fake or a phony or a stand.
So going back to the birth of the forefather Jacob, or Jacob, um, who is his brother and who is he today?
I mean, his brother is Esau. They was twins, and who he is really don't matter.
No, 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 no. We're not gonna drop it like that, Israel. Give
It
me some
really don't, though. Tell me why it matters.
identification in it. So it's he only left you basic instructions before leaving Earth, and there are people
We
identified.
don't we don't leave Earth. It's bind in the Bible, life eternal. Bible. What's mine in the Bible is life eternal, whether if it's eternal life or eternal damnation. So what's in there identifies you. Anybody that want to be in the nation of Israel, once again, has to sojourn with Israel, has to do as Israel does, and that's it. Any other nation is gonna have to come under Israel. So
Yeah,
it don't matter who you are. If you're not Israel or you not identifying as Israel and doing as Israel does, it doesn't matter what nation you are. I'm Israel. whether if it's physically or spiritually, which I believe is both, I'm Israel. I don't have to worry about it. That's the good news, because the good news came to Israel first. So the Lord God of Israel told Israel, hey, you the sons of my, I'm gonna give you the spirit. Then I'm
Okay.
gonna have you teach the rest of the world.
I,
So
I get that part. I get that part. But what I'm saying is, um, Esau was also given blessings as well, right? Outside of the birthright blessing that he sold for the lentils, yeah. Outside of that, he was still given blessings, right? Just like
everybody was given blessings and curses.
exactly. So this is what
If
I'm
you
saying.
don't, if you're not with Israel, you don't have Israel blessings. If
So
you're not with Israel, you don't have Israel curses. But the rest of the world got blessings and curses too.
hmm
But Israel has the blessing of all, the best of all. That's being sons and daughters of the God of Israel.
yes, indeed. So again, I like to to try and give as much of a rounder picture as possible, and you kind of
Well,
cutting
I mean,
around
it's
the
simple. The
picture.
people that call them, listen, the people that call themselves Israel are the ones that's walking around in a false identification. Even if I say I'm Israel, you can say, well, that's a false identification. Whoever identifying themselves as Israel are the children of Esau.
So, but why would that be though? This is what I'm saying. So have you answered the question then, or are you making a statement?
I'm making a statement. To me, it's like it's simple. He said he Israel, I say I'm Israel. Who do you believe is Israel? Him or me? Well,
Okay.
look at his history, look at my history, and tell me which one fits the blessings and the curses. I'm not in the blessings yet. He's in the blessings. Esau is in the blessings now. So anybody that's blessed or got a pocket full of money or the wealth of the land and say they Israel, 9 out of 10 is children of Esau.
And where's that? So where's that? Where can we go back and find that apart from the part in the womb and being the
But look,
holding on
brother,
to the
I
heel.
didn't come to teach a lesson, so
No,
I'm
no,
not
no,
here.
sibling. I'm not saying I'm not
I
suggesting.
hear you. I hear you. I'm good. I'm just letting the people know as well as you that I didn't come to teach a lesson today. If I come to teach a lesson, like I said, I want to be here at least once a month. So it's time to talk about that and deal with that, especially if you tell me beforehand, I
hmm
know where to go in the scriptures and I give you
Okay.
everything you asking for to deal with a subject matter that you want to speak about.
hmm
You know what I'm saying?
No, listen. I get that, and of course, we'll do that in more detail. I will make you more prepared in that respect. But in for this particular question, all I'm looking for is I don't need scripture and verse. I just need some kind of explanation. No, yeah, some kind of
Well, it's
explanation.
simple. You go to Esau and Jacob's daddy blessing Esau and Jacob and see what he tell Jacob while he was acting like he was Esau. See, Jacob went said, I'm Esau, put on clothing and stuff, dressed
hmm
up.
Walk
So
backwards.
Jacob was Esau at that point to his daddy.
hmm
Then Esau came to his dad and he said, oh, Jacob got the blessings and stuff now, but I'll bless you too because I was gonna bless you. So here your stuff. But you're gonna have to take over and get the blessings and stuff that I just bless you with. Because Jacob is the one that truly supposed to have it. But if you put enough pressure on him for his guns, knife, or whatever, and you subvert him, then you'll get the blessings. But know that eventually yours gonna run out and his forever because he got the blessings. You can walk in the blessings for a minute if you subvert him and choke him out of them and beat him out of them and swindle him out of his blessings.
Okay.
It's just that easy for each other, for the people out there, each individual. Me and you twins. Me and you got the same blessings and everything. Now, at some point, you gonna have them, I'm gonna have them. Well, as the story goes, Esau get him first. Then Jacob get him. But that's why Esau is in the fat of the world. That's why he's the lender, not the borrower. He's the one that's got Hollywood and not watching what Hollywood does. He's the one that pays the NBA players, but not out there playing because he's not blessed with the athletic talent. He's the one that watching the football players because he's not blessed with the athletic talent. So Esau is the one that calls himself a Israeli and put the I on the end of Israel. I had this conversation with Dr. James Brown. You know who that is?
The name doesn't ring bells. Who's that? Enlighten me, sibling.
The brother name is Dr. Brown. I think he got the what's his show? It's been a while since I did it, but I had a conversation with his name is Michael Brown, not James Brown. That's a person I know personally. But Dr. Michael Brown from Jews for Jesus. I forget the name of his program and stuff. But we
Okay.
actually talked about the NBA owner of the LA Clippers when he said
Mm.
the slurs and stuff. And he wanted a Hebrew Israelite, but I was the one that he chose to talk to. And he gave me 15 minutes. I started the conversation and he kept me there throughout the show. And I was telling him he was Esau and I was Jacob, and Jesus was black or would be black in the ghetto today. I had a good conversation with him, but as
But
I say, I'm one prepared to show that today. I was prepared to come and just have a conversation
yeah, we're
today.
freestyling. Don't worry about it. As I say, we'll go into those realms. You know what I mean? We'll go into those realms. That ain't a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all good. Like I said, I just come to sit back and talk. So whatever you hit me with, I'm either prepared or unprepared. And the preparation for this show wasn't there. So
Yeah, man. All gravy, man. All gravy. So, what are we looking at for 2021?
well, for the last let's see, 8 years since 2013, starting in 2016, I've been on this hip hop. And for me, hip hop is Hear Israel People Have Open Prophecies. Hip hop, HOPHIP, hip
Hmm.
hop. So I've been on this hip hop thing, which correlates with the Theo political thing, right?
Yep.
I've been dealing with the head of hip hop, the hip hop culture, and pederasty, Africa Bambaataa, and the pederasty that he was committing in 2013 and before, but at least 2013 is when the public found out that he was committing these acts. They was published on the internet. The
Hmm.
publications got dealt with by hip hop publications, and then eventually it made it to the YouTube streets.
Okay. The bee stinger and the Hassan Campbell character.
Yes,
Hmm.
Ronald Savage and her son Campbell. So they came out, they asked for help. I went to go help, and then I learned too much, spoke too much, and it wasn't the conglomerate will that I do so. So they had one narrative that when Ronald Savage came out, that's when you start the narrative of the conversation of Africa Bambaataa. But the conversation of Africa Bambaataa started in 2013 when he drug induced, raped a young man. Young man woke up, stabbed him. and his partner that was there, Ahmed Henderson, and he got away. So Africa Mambata took a picture and asked the killer, the hitman, Hassan Camel, not the victim, but the killer, the hitman, Hassan Camel, which is a YouTube phenomenon now, to murder the boy for him. Now, Hassan Camel let us know this thing on Queen's Flip, episode 29. He blatantly said that he was supposed to be one of the killers. After he did this, me and him was into it. He was talking about defecating on my mother's grave and urinating on my mother's grave. So I said, what happened to the boy? And I made it a movement. And I'm currently back dealing with that movement because since 2017 to now, I've been pushing that movement. But in 2019, I was in court all year fighting against a lady by the name of Layla Wells. Layla Wells is the director of the Trapped in the Closet Africa Bambaataa documentary dealing with
Did that ever
Izzy.
come out?
Huh?
Did that documentary ever come out? I don't recall seeing that.
No, I haven't. I haven't. I seen, conversation about it. I've seen her ask for money and donations to get it out there, but due to my efforts, that documentary hasn't came out yet. Because, like I said, 2 years ago, I was in court all year with her. She brought forth a slap case, a strategic lawsuit against public participation. And because they didn't want me to participate in the conversation, I got hit with this lawsuit. She said that I was stalking her from Arkansas. I was stalking her in Chicago. So I must be a real good stalker. I didn't know I had those type of skills to, stalk somebody 1,800 or whatever miles away from them. But
I think in this new age, Israel, you don't need to, like, when we think of stalking, we think of physically going to people's houses and all that kind of stuff. But I think in today's society, they've expanded that with technology. So if you like emailing them regularly or whatever, or on their social medias, I guess I can say that's a form of stalking as well.
yeah, she had to show three things to get the judge to, you know, allow her to write me and subpoena me to court. So she gave him three explanations of why I needed to be dealt with. And I'm talking about it now. On my YouTube, Israel Doctrine Reloaded, I have started the campaign again because once I first started it, I didn't monetize it. I gave it to the people for free. I talked to Tommy Sotomayor, Sadnetta, Doggy Diamond, Star, her. I talked to everybody and tried to let them know what I knew. They didn't care to know what I knew. They didn't care to say, oh, you say on Queen's Flip episode 29, he said he was gonna kill the boy. Well, we're making him out to be a victim. And he said he was gonna kill the boy. He took a picture to kill the boy. I guess he's not a victim. They didn't want that because the documentary is based up on the victim, Hassan Campbell, because only Hassan Campbell and Ron Savage have shown them their face in public. See,
So how many
the
other
young
victims
man
were
he was
there?
supposed to kill, the young man that he was supposed to kill, he never showed his face in public. He never spoke in public. So therefore, he's not the man. Ron Savage came out first, and Hassan Campbell was forced to come out next.
When you say forced, what do you mean by that?
Because Ron Savage came out and the Facebook video that Hassan Campbell had made was out there. As you know, if you put something on the internet and people see it and they see the controversy, even if you don't want it out there, you delete it 30 minutes later, that don't mean within that time frame someone ain't hit download and got it. So Star Troy Terrain had the video, the audio, and he put it out there after her son took it down.
So what was the audio saying?
It was saying, why y'all treating Bam like he a hero and stuff? He molested me, he molested people. All y'all people sit around and let him do this. You know, y'all didn't never come get me out the house when he was doing this to me and everything. Like I said,
So do you think all this was a ploy to get into the limelight, to get into the position he is now?
well, the thing is this: the 2013 victim had a case against Bambaataa because he was underage and had the most up to date accusations against Bambaataa. It just happened 2013. What happened to them was in the early 80s or late 80s. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is,
Because he alleged it.
the drug induced rape is what would have got Bambaataa locked away. It would have easily been a case, and if he could have proved Bam raped him, drug induced him, and all of that, it was a wrap. But he disappeared. Why? Because his son Camel was ordered to kill him. Now, the question is, did he kill him or did he not kill him? I don't know. Her son knows. But we haven't heard from the boy. We haven't seen the boy. Now, he was supposed to go to Hot 97 and do different stuff, and he was reaching out to tell his story. But they say he got afraid. He's afraid now. He don't want to tell his story. He's still alive, but he's afraid. He went crazy. And so I'm fighting against that conglomerate of people because all of them came out and said her son was a victim. They promoted him as a victim. And when they found out that he was a willing participant in everything that he was talking about, they didn't tell the public. So these YouTube influencers, these social media influencers influenced the people to follow her son and be on her son's side.
But
So
hasn't
now her son is almost 300K subscribers and making lots of money and lots of dope. He's extorting the
Israel.
community. He's extorting all these different people.
Israel, didn't Frankie come out and say, I mean, he's obviously flip-flopped multiple times after, but didn't Frankie come out and say that he doesn't, all that stuff was wrong? And yeah, I'm sure he even mentioned you to say, yeah, man, Israel was bringing in.
Look. Frank Gary Sarnetta is friends with Africa Bambaataa. So do you think he would step out there and protect Bambaataa or he'll condemn Bambaataa? That's what you got to realize. Africa Bambaataa is a Zulu Kemetic Moor. He's not just a Zulu, he's a Kemetic and he's a Moor. So he got pictures with Dr. Ben. He got pictures with Sarnetta, Red Pill, Dr. Mayat, Cyrus Sunsetti, and all the other Kemetics and stuff in the community.
So what you're saying is the whole thing, from what I'm piecing together, the whole press conference thing that they did on the 125th, all that shit was just like smoke and mirrors.
Well, the thing is, they wanted Bambaataa to participate in his public humiliation. It's pretty much what it is. They wanted to humiliate him in public because he don't want to come out and confess that he like boys, young boys. So what they did when they told it and did a press conference, they was trying to humiliate him. Bambaataa wasn't coming out to be humiliated. So the press conference was for that. But when Bam didn't come out to get humiliated, Then they said he got 72 hours to answer to what we talking about, or we gonna do this and do that. He's gonna get excommunicado or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Excommunicated or excommunicada, whatever the John Wick terminology is. He's gonna get excommunicated out the community because he was in Ali Muhammad's Aboriginal group. So Ali Muhammad said, "Hey, we can't take any legal matters and throw them out the group or out of the community without going through some legal stuff." We haven't heard nothing about those legal things. So once again, Bambaataa is on the loose, and he's touching somebody, child out there somewhere, probably. And people love her son and supporting her son, but the person that is giving them clear-cut evidence from her son's own mouth, they didn't heard it, they just didn't hear it. They was listening, but they weren't hearing, right? That her son said he was supposed to kill this boy. And after I brought the movement out, he said it numerous or more times. So he done said it about 6 or 7 times now. And no one wanted to give me a platform to speak about it. All of them attacked me. I told Star. Star said, I ain't gonna talk to you. I told Layla Wills. She said, I ain't gonna talk to you. I told the guy that wrote the 2013 article that he date raped the boy. He was running with me for a second and he turned on me. But he is a FBI confidential informant. He's in WICSEC program. He's in the WICSEC program. So the government has been here since the very first day.
What's the WICSEC program? Break that down. I ain't never heard of that before.
WICSEC is Witness Security Program. Witness Security Program.
Okay.
A Witness Protection Program is the most common name. You know what the Witness Protection Program is, right? Now, he himself is an ex-Hebrew Israelite. He was with Yahweh ben Yahweh them down in Florida.
You talking about the reporter?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about that Khalil Omani guy, the Khalil dude, right?
Right. That's his government name. The government gave him that. His mama called him Lloyd Carr. That's his real name. That's his mama given name. Lloyd, like Lloyd Banks.
Yeah.
Lloyd Carr. That's his real name. But he was with Yahweh ben Yahweh when they was chopping people's head off and doing all that stuff. So he turned state evidence against Yahweh ben Yahweh.
Yeah.
With other people.
Oh, wait, then it's just stop there for a minute, Israel. Stop there, right? So based upon his story that he's told about, him could be, coming up under Yahweh ben Yahweh and all that kind of stuff, and based upon what transpired and all that, what would you do in that situation where your wife's been like brainwashed into like staying with this cult thing and blah 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 blah?
I would never be in that situation. I don't have a wife.
No, this is what I'm saying. I know you don't, right? Put yourself hypothetically in that situation. Would you have turned state evidence, or would you have found a different way maybe to try and resolve that issue?
Look, it's this simple. I don't put myself in scenarios that I won't be in. I don't follow cult leaders. I don't follow people that say they the son of God. I don't do that. You see what I'm saying? If a human being today tell me that they Yahweh ben Yahweh, Yahweh the son of Yahweh, I said, man, you crazy, and have a nice day. You see what I'm saying? The things that's going on is people are being brainwashed. Like Hassan Campbell got 300K subscribers or 200K subscribers heading to 3, whatever the in between them is. They have been brainwashed by social media influencers. Influencers like Doggy Diamonds, Sodnetta, Tommy Sotomayor.
But wait a minute. Isn't the Doggy? It seems to me, I don't consume all of his content, But the majority of the content I see, he seems to be down the middle, and I've had conversations with Doggy.
Okay, me and Doggy Diamonds had a little relationship. I've been on his show a couple times. He's been on my show a couple times. That's just like me and you. We got a little relationship. It ain't the greatest relationship. We don't talk all the time, this and that. You know me, I know you. I'm on your show. That's the relationship, right? So now I had his personal number. So I had his personal number and we was Facebook friends. When her son would act up, I would tell Doggy Diamonds. I say, hey man, this dude, you over here capping for this dude. And this dude talking about he gonna doodle on my mother's grave and pee on my mother's grave. You know you offending me when you run with him, right? That's an offensive gesture, right? If somebody said they gonna doodle on your mother's grave and piss on your mother's grave, and then I run with them, how would you look at me?
Mm-hmm.
You say, hold up, man, you running with my enemy. So me and Doggy talk. You over here saying her son is cool to the people. Now you're a social media influencer. You're a street influencer. You influence the street. And the street is listening to you say her son has the green card to do what he's doing in the community.
Hey, but listen, one thing simply. You're right, and I totally understand and understand what you're talking about. But as grown men, we need to get to a point in our lives when if someone says horrible things, words to us, we've got to be the bigger men and say, you know what, you know, these are
I
words,
was the
man.
bigger man. I started the movement asking what happened to the boy you was gonna kill. I ain't say your mama look like Miss Piggy. Don't she look like Miss Piggy? I didn't go there. I didn't talk about his mama. I come from the South. We talk about your whole dead family when we talk about dead family. We don't just talk about whoever just died yesterday. We talk about the whole genealogy of you. So I didn't go there.
Mm.
I said what happened to the boy. The whole community seen it. They seen it. He was
Mm-hmm.
talking about my mother. I said, my mother's dead. So he say, since she dead, I'm gonna come doodle on her grave and I'm gonna piss on her grave. And I ain't say nothing. I was like, okay, you want a war. You want to go to war with me. Well, I'm gonna ask this question, and this should be the end of you. But everyone say no, that question ties a lot of people into a murder. We can't allow him to run around with that question or that movement. Therefore, we gotta tell YouTube lies by flagging my content. They would send a flag mob over, and all the subscribers, he got almost 300K now, will come over to my channel and flag my channel. And so
Yeah.
YouTube will say, oh, this content is no good and do this and do that. And they did their best to take me off YouTube. They took my channels for like 6 months. All of my channels. I did something on one channel and they took all my channels. I got like 6 channels. They took them all. They tried to Donald Trump me. And I told them, I said, hey, look, y'all, they gonna take my channels, but it's cool. You know what? They gonna get my channels back. And then one day in January, I was sitting around and my phone went off and started hitting me with all these messages. I was like, what's going on with this phone? So I looked and it was my Google Hangout letting me know that all this information from my Google channel that just got closed 6 months ago is now activated and coming through my phone.
So they locked off the whole account then. So it wasn't just a YouTube element, it was the whole Google account.
No, the Google was good. They closed the YouTube accounts.
That's crazy.
Google owns YouTube.
Of course, yeah.
So when YouTube came back on, it's tied into the Google account. You can't get a YouTube account unless you got the Google Gmail account.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came back on, it let me know that people was trying to communicate or sending me messages, and they couldn't do it because they closed all the accounts.
That's crazy. That and that is current, exactly what's taking place. I mean, even Frankie's experiencing the shadow banning of YouTube, the censorship, whereas historically,
Well, what didn't happen is Hassan Camel power has grown. So if he got 300K subscribers and he say go flag him or destroy his channel, then they subscribe to your channel, and then they attack your channel by telling YouTube your content is not right. Downing your videos, flagging your channels, or doing whatever they can to alert YouTube that your channel needs to be dealt with.
but he isn't necessarily getting strikes and stuff from what I'm seeing, or from what he's saying at
How do
least.
you know if he getting strikes if you're not looking in his back room?
Well, you know how transparent of sorts Frankie is in regards to the thing. You know what I mean? Of course, I ain't got access to something, but I'm
I
pretty
didn't tell
sure.
you I was getting strikes. I started telling you that they're striking my page. They copywriting, saying I got copyrights. Layla Well was flagging my page for Khalil Money content. And it's like, that's his content. How do you have a copyright to his content? He just did this live video right here. I downloaded, put it up on my channel, and you claiming the copyright?
That's crazy. You've clearly, as you've laid out, you've irritated some a group of people, and their followers and themselves are doing some some interesting things, man.
It's called YouTube influencers. Everybody I'm talking about is an influencer. Layla Wells is an influencer. Star Troy Terrain influencer. DJ K Slay is an influencer. Khalil Money,
K Slay,
Netta. Yeah,
what's K
DJ
Slay?
K Slay is a child trafficker. He said he used to go get the boys for Africa Bambaataa.
Wait a minute, I ain't heard this part. When did that come out? What, 14, when it all kind of exploded, or
Now
later
it
on?
came out in like 17 or 18. Khalil Money went on a show that I hooked him up with. I can't think of the dude name now, but it was a YouTube channel or show,
Hmm.
and he said that DJ K said we used to go get them kids or them boys for Africa Bambaataa. Then he was like, "Oh, I just said that. I wasn't supposed to say that." Then he said, "Well, the Zulus used to go get them, but K Slay was a Zulu."
Hmm. That's
So
but
when the
that's
Zulus was going to get the children for
Hey, but
Africa Bambaataa,
sibling, that's flimsy, man. That's flimsy. That's flimsy still. That's
huh?
hearsay. We need a bit more than that still. That's just an
Well,
accusation.
he attacked me. Well, that's why I said if you come and subscribe to my channel, the documentary is $24.99. I'm gonna do different episodes each month, leading up to April the 1st, because that's when it happened, April the 1st, 2013.
Mm,
So this anniversary, we're gonna deal with that. But until then, I'm doing a build up to April the 1st. I
okay.
have a join the community or join the movement button on YouTube where I'm
Oh,
exclusively talking about all this stuff.
all right. All right. Listen, is what's the YouTube? Drop me tell them the YouTube name, and I'll make sure in the
Well,
description it will be
it,
in
it
below.
is Israel Doctrine Reloaded. See, they flagged and demonetized Israel Doctrine. So I had to go over here and start a channel. I got 1,000,000 views over here. I'm surprised, but not that many subscribers, like 3,000 subscribers, but I've been working over here.
Hmm.
So YouTube permits us to charge people to be members of our channels and get exclusive audio and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah,
since 2017 to be exact, somewhat in 16, but 17, I've been giving everybody this information, pure, unadulterated information freely. And they took it and created a lane for everyone to attack Hassan Campbell. But they never would use the what happened to the boy information. You know, I called the feds live on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I remember that actually. Yeah.
Well, see, what happened is,
Yeah, and people were running you for that as well.
yeah, but I'm cool because it's showing a division between the white, righteous, and wicked. It's a clear cut dividing line,
Hey,
right? The community.
all right then. Listen. Let me play righteous advocate in that respect. Then, so you called the feds, the federales, on Hassan Campbell live on BoobTube, right? And Khalil Omani, aka whatever his government name is, you said, called the feds. You know, did the state witness protection thing. Well, what's the difference?
What's the difference?
Outside of you not being in a cult and shit, wrong was taking place, and Khalil, uh,
Okay,
yeah.
Khalil did his stuff as a confidential informant. What I did was not confidential, it was live on YouTube.
Yeah, all right then. You're right. Yeah, you're 100% right. But I think wouldn't he have had to have do that based upon the reach of that cult at that time and the
I
power that they had?
look, they threaten my life every day.
But they're not.
I've been threatened. I've been threatened by Hebrew Israelites, and I've been threatened by Africa Bambaataa, Hassan Camel, and all of them.
All right. So are you equating the? I mean, what Yahweh bin Yahweh's thing was what 30 million or some shit? Well, we're
Brother,
talking some.
hold up. Make sure what you asking me is clear so I can answer you clearly. Because what you saying is his life was threatened or whatever. He was gonna tell on this big cult leader.
Mhm.
So my life was threatened, and I'm gonna tell on this big cult leader, Zulu Kemetic Moor cult leader.
Okay.
Yahweh ben
Yeah.
Yahweh was leading Hebrew Israelites, black
Yeah.
Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah. You're
You
right.
say, what's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
So once again, I go to the public and I tell the public. Then I talk to all the influencers. He didn't have that. He had Yahweh ben Yahweh and the feds. So when I go to the people that's influencing the community to go at Africa Bambaataa, to go at the Zulus, to accept Hassan Camel and Ron Savage, and they say, we don't care about what you're talking about. That's a difference because I'm telling the people that's in power to do something, the influencers. They can influence this situation however they like. They actually said to me, and this is where it's going to come out in the documentary. I'm doing an audio documentary. This is where it comes. I go to Star, I say, you know, her son was on the phone with Mickey Benson, Ice-T manager, when he was talking to you. He was on the phone, he just didn't say nothing. You know what Star did? He sent me a copy of the video where her son was telling them that. He said, I know her son told me that. I said, oh, so you already knew. So if they was trying to get you to take the video down and they was talking to you in a certain manner and her son was on the phone, you already knew that. So what happened is I go to her son Facebook page, I look, and there's a picture of Mickey Benson, Ice-T's manager, and Star together. Her son say, Star and took some money. He didn't get paid to hush. That's why when you look at the movement that they was building, Star was there in the beginning, but he disappeared for a long time. Then he came back for a little bit when I hit the scene because he had to fight a little bit, and then now he's gone again. But see, you're going to get all this information in the documentation.
Definite. Hey, it's you've dropped quite a bit of information as well. Where
Yes,
listen.
look,
Listen, listen.
DJ K Slay hasn't spoke to me exactly. Khalil Money has spoke for him. Khalil Money say DJ K Slay is aware of what you're doing and what you're saying. And he's gonna bring a lawsuit against you, a strategic lawsuit against public participation. Because he told the world that K Slay was trafficking children. He didn't say them words, but that's what he said when he said he used to go get the boys for Bambata. That's trafficking. He tried to fight it. He read a definition, then he said, "Oh, that's what he's saying." Because he acted like he didn't know what I was saying, but he read the definition. He said, "Oh, that's what he's saying." So he contradicted himself. I've been fighting against all these people. So I would say this. Please go to Israel Doctrine Reloaded. Sign up for the $3.99. It's going to tell you as much as you need to know. Then you can go to the next level. That's the starter level. The next level is $9.99. That's going to allow you to deal with the slap case that I had to fight, documentations and everything, court records and stuff. And then $24.99 is episodes of the documentary, auto documentary. So with that said, I'm glad you had me over. I'm glad I could speak some. You gave me the platform to speak. You know what I'm
Every
saying?
time.
I would
Every
like to
time.
be more prepared next time.
No problem at all, Superman. No problem at all. Hey, social media wise, what's the best place to for people to get a hold of you?
Well, you can get hold to me at Gmail, and that is Israel Doctrine at Gmail.
No Instagram and nothing like that.
Instagram is Israel Doctrine. Twitter is Israel Doctrine. Just type in Israel Doctrine on any social platform, and if I ain't there, let me know. I'll get over there and get it.
Definite, man. Enjoy the varying and in some places quite complex parts of the build. We'll definitely continue the part 2, 3, and 4 because I think we got a lot more to cover on this here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most definitely share.